Right. Okay. Welcome, traders. Happy Thursday. See, there's some guys on in the Discord. Just put the questions in the chat if you have any. We'll get into the pre-market prep here in a bit. Just had to let guys join. But obviously, so speaking on a little bit of news and stuff that happened yesterday, we had FOMC, which really didn't do too much actually. We did have, geez, that was pretty late at the market close. Looks like it a little bit of a wick down to the lows on ES. I wonder if that was on NQ as well. Yeah, NQ2, probably YM a little bit as well, but very, very choppy price action. Not unusual for an FOMC day. We also did have Tesla, Microsoft, and Meta report earnings yesterday. So obviously quite a little bit in the fundamental side of things. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you guys can hear me in the Discord as well as online here. But yeah, I think today could provide some really, really nice opportunities, I think. I was looking at the edgeful data, which I was showing yesterday. And if we look at that report, so if we go like this, and we have a look at the economic data volume report, very, very interesting. A lot of traders get stuck trying to trade FOMC and try and push on those days, but the market doesn't present the same price action every single day. And it's just, it can't be said that you should be making the same amount of money every single day. Some days are going to be great, sometimes going to be great, and other times it's going to be a little bit more tricky to make money. So look at this from FOMC. This is since Jan 2025, so last year. Look so the blue one there, the light blue, is FOMC day. Obviously the day afterwards is T plus FOMC day. So the next day after FOMC. Look how the volume kicks in the next day after FOMC, right? The only one here that was a bit of a weird one was June last year. It is a summer month, but look at July, okay? October and December. All of the volume kicks in after the FOMC day. And that's probably what we are going to see here today. So if we have a look at YM is lagging behind the other two indexes. ES and NQ have been moving up all week. YM did drop off due to United Healthcare selling off, which does play a factor in that. If you want to come see what stocks make up the indexes that you trade, you can come over here on TradingView. You go to stock screeners, heat map stocks, okay? And then this is the S&P 500. And if you have a look at the Dow Jones, so YM, Dow Jones, okay? And you can see that United Healthcare does play a factor in it. And remember, the Dow Jones is price-weighted, not percentage-based. Okay, so YM has been lagging a bit. We're actually still trading underneath that weekly view app compared to, let me show you this. Let's go to a 50-minute time frame over here. Look how YM over here is trading underneath the weekly view app, which is that blue view app coming across my screen. You know, I love using the view app indicator. We're trading underneath it, okay, compared to NQ, okay, which is above it, as well as ES as well. So we're clearly trading higher on that. I must say, though, on ES and NQ, I would not be surprised to see something like this if we do look at our levels. If we don't take out these pre-market highs, I definitely will be looking for a potential shorting opportunity. I know on Monday I was looking for some shorts. I managed to grab some shorts on YM before I took a loss on NQ and then got the YM shorts, both on stream. So I'll be on my stream again and then with Andre on Friday. But look at this. So levels that I'm just watching on ES is up at 7030. That is the level of pre-market highs what I am watching. I think if we do clear that, the next potential level could be down here at 990. And then if we clear that potential, lower down into weekly lows back at 927. We are very, very high up from this week. We gapped down to start the week on Monday, okay? And we are literally up over 100 points since that gap down. So, you know, the dips have been bought. I must say that. So, yeah, we are also trading above previous week's highs as well. If you have a look here, previous week's highs is up here at 969. Down at the lows is 815. So we definitely have been making a pretty good uptrend. Any news today? Let's have a look at the news before we continue. And if there's any questions in the chat, make sure to put that through. So any news in the chat, yeah, I normally use Forex Factory for my scheduled news. We do have unemployment claims in the next 15 minutes. Okay. So that's the scheduled news. So we have unemployment claims. And as I said, FOMC just printed last night. I was actually having a look at the shorts on NASDAQ yesterday. It ended up moving down. I managed to stay flat, but there was a nice clean break. The Olga had a win, but from my discretional trading, no trades, but quite a nice move down. We take out opening range low. You guys know I love using VWAP and the VWAP and the opening range. So we take the opening range lows. Yeah, you could probably have your stop up near the high of the range, and we end up moving back into those previous days' highs before stalling into FOMC. Right now, NASDAQ is actually coming lower underneath the daily VWAP. Okay, so we can see that overnight VWAP. And stocks got Microsoft down 6%, Meta up 8%. So from the earnings, and then Tesla's up 1.7%. So a little bit of a mixed bag there from the earnings perspective. So it is going to be, I think, as I said, like the volume should come in after or the day after FOMC. Any questions in the chat so far? Morning, Bruce. How are you? Are you enjoying the new car? Hey, loving it, bro. Loving it. What's up, KB? Yeah, Asia low would be down, which pre-market lows NQ would be down at 0.95. Yeah, I could see that being taken as well. And then on NQ, if we take that, I definitely think that this is a 50-minute time frame. I definitely think back towards these levels here at 2,600 is possible too. So maybe something like this on NQ that we could be watching before the move down. Now, I am going to say this because I think everyone should be using this if you have an edgeful subscription. If you don't, hit the link in my bio, but you should be looking at the screener every single day. So let me get my post up from yesterday. It does give such a clear indication, and I think that was a lesson for me on Monday. Trade in line with that screener, because it really does print a great picture of some of my favorite reports that I love. So let's get my post up that I made yesterday. Just look how clean the screener was printing yesterday. So let's have a look at that. Let's go like this. Okay, let's go like that. Look at this from the screener yesterday. Okay, we clearly were favoring the shorts yesterday. 66% of the reports on the screener were actually favoring those short ideas, and that's what happens. That opening candle continuation. Okay, everything on the Mag 7 was actually printing pretty bearish. Microsoft, Google, you can see all of that, right? So things were definitely setting up on that to the downside. And I think this thing can help you. The screener can help you really, really well in the session. It helps you build a data-backed bias, which I really, really do enjoy. I hope that your guys' week has been going well. How's anyone want to put anything in the chat here? I can see what's up, Tony, Sloth, Hoa. Good to have you guys on. French, George, what's up? So you can just type in the chat here. Okay. But I hope that you guys are having a great week. Anything that you guys are working on? For me right now, this week has actually been a little bit of more of a defensive week than an attacking week. Personally, that's just for me because of FOMC and some of the volume. We can see the VIX is actually getting back up above 19. So that'll be interesting. Normally VIX up means indexes and stocks down. We did have the DAX coming lower today. The DAX is down 1%. So the DAX coming lower on the daily time frame. We also are sitting at that 50 EMA. We try to bounce off of it. And now coming back down off all-time highs. So the DAX is the German stock market index. But I think that was some nice shorts. I unfortunately missed it. I caught the DAX shorts on, was it Tuesday? Or, yeah, it was Tuesday. I caught these shorts over here on Tuesday. Yeah, Freedom Trader, which is the question above. So still a bit of a struggle trying to concentrate on the high time frames, 30-minute or above. That's probably the best thing. I've been speaking about that pretty. Oh, there, I see your question. Yeah. I've been speaking about going to high time frames like 15 minutes and plus. If you are struggling while looking at lower time frames, right? Let's have a look here. So you got okay. So would this be correct? Okay, so let's see your question. So you're up 0.1% at market open. Yes, that is correct. Yeah. So if you are up, so what you can do, that's yep, that is a good question there. So you're asking a question on the gap fill. So if I put the edge fill gap fill indicator on, okay, edge fill gap fill, and you can get these indicators on the screen, so you can actually see the gap fill price, as you can see here. Okay, you can actually see the gap fill price. Let's go to NASDAQ. So you were looking at NASDAQ. Okay, so we actually are sitting at that gap fill price right now. Obviously, I think when you posted that, it's coming down. But let's just say, okay, so let's just say yesterday where market opened up was over here, okay, into the open. The gap fill on that would be 0.67% up. What you can do is you can have that gap fill indicator on, and then you just measure from where the open price is down towards that gap fill price. Right now, the gap fill would be literally 0% because we are sitting right at that gap fill price. Does that make sense, Freedom Trader? Just let me know if that makes sense. What's up, Frank? Perfect. Dump it. Yeah, no, I agree. I would like the shorts today after FOMC. But so yeah, that's an easy way to use the edge fill indicators. And you can on the left-hand side, yeah, get the trading view indicator access, and as well as the Ninja Trader too, right? So on the left-hand side, trading view, and then the Ninja Trader, and then again the Discord where I'm in every single day on edge fill, where I put on what I'm looking at, thoughts and comments on the market is there too. So always feel free to hop in here. But yeah, that's any other questions, Freedom Trader? Hoa, how's your week been, bro? So as I said, I think we could move lower today, but I'm not just going to blindly short. I'll wait and see what markets want to present. I think Microsoft being down 6% and Meta up 8% is going to be interesting. But we are, even if you look at the hourly time frame, we are kind of forming like maybe a potential double top here, where, like this, failing to break for a new high, and now we're coming lower. Let's have a look here. So any other questions, guys? Please put it in the chat. Okay, so that's what I am potentially seeing on NQ. Yes, as well. If we fail to take that new high, so previous day's highs, I think we could definitely come lower off that level too. YM, as I said, has been trading the weaker of the three. YM's actually back at previous week's lows. We haven't actually moved higher all week, right? Start of the week, we're back at that at that open price. Moved higher on Monday, but now, especially YM, coming off of this weekly view app. Look how we pin up here now today already, and now put maybe a move back down to the low. Sorry, the indicator refreshed just. So we're middle of the range. So maybe a move back down off this level back towards that 48,500 level. Did you go over YM? Yeah. So this is where, if you want to be shorting the indexes on this particular day, you want to be shorting the weaker index. YM right now is printing as a weaker index because it is trading underneath weekly VWAP and it is sitting middle of the range underneath previous week's highs, whereas NQ and ES are both trading above that. So if we hold this level here, I could definitely see us falling back down to 48,500 for sure. Perfect, Sloth. Any other questions in the chat? Mitch, any other questions? So, if I am favoring the shorts on the indexes today, definitely will be YM that I'll want to be shorting. But let's see what presents at the open as well. I think also, if you aren't sure of the bias, waiting for at least the first 30 minutes or hour to play out. As I said, in the next 3 minutes, we'll have a bit of news. So be on here for that news to be released. And I have seen that with a lot of traders is the more they wait, the more patient they are, the easier the setups come to you instead of chasing. Speaking from my own experience as well, right? I have to learn from my mistakes every single week. Earnings gap is a good push. Not sure if it was a stop run. Yeah. Thanks for your time as always. Yeah, 100%. And again, like you said, you've been struggling a bit. I think that's that's actually the first step to always getting better and improving. This game can be tough at times and lonely, particularly when you are struggling. And if you can't admit that you have been not at your A game, it's going to be difficult to improve because you kind of have to admit that you need to improve and openly to say you need to get better. So that's very admirable of you. Yeah, so this week I am up on the week so far personally, but it has been a little bit of a grind. As I said, I've traded smaller just to protect myself from fundamentals that are in play and everything like that. So we got, as I said, news in the next bit. I was $67 away from payouts and have been in a drawdown since keeping my. Yeah, that's a tough one, bro. I've had that happen to me so many times. I trade personal cash accounts as well as a lot of prop firms. I've been still focusing on those CFD prop firms, like FTMO more recently. I've got a payout at the end of this week, but as you said, like it can be brutal at times, and I think sometimes drawdowns are natural. Just as making profits are natural in trading. What accounts are you trading there, Sloth? Is that like with Top Step or anything like that? KB, how you going in the chat there? So news in the next couple of seconds. Yeah, it's just come out. Nothing really happening too much at the moment. Top on futures and my personal account. Brilliant. Instant funded accounts. KB says green on the week, caught the longs after market, stay with earnings on NQ. Brilliant. After Aftermarket. Okay, so you called it actually aftermarket close. Interesting. Freedom Trader said, I've had several closed payouts and blue accounts rushing. If I trade a personal account, I would have made more money. Yeah. That's why, also with like the prop firms, they kind of like lure you in sometimes to like hit profit targets or reach certain amounts. And then you like try and push for that. But if you're trading a personal account, you're like, I'm only going to take quality setups. Like if you put 10 grand into a personal account and risk, $500 a trade, you probably, you might be better off. Prop trading is not for everyone. I do both. But I think like, there's different ways to play this game. Okay, so news not really doing too much here on that that release. As I said, I think if ES holds 7,030, so 7,030, I think we could definitely come lower and see new lows. But again, we might pop on the open. Meta's now up 9%. Nvidia is trading low. Tesla was up 1.7, is coming back down now. Meta pumping. Andre's going to like that. He was probably going to speak about that on stream, but Meta pumping on the earnings. Microsoft is trading poorly at the moment. And then Tesla had earnings yesterday as well, which beat, but that does not look potentially, we are coming down now in the pre-market hours this morning. So I'll be in the edgeful Discord for the rest of the day. I will be on my live stream, which you can hit the link in my bio, and then I'll be live here tomorrow with Andre. Always appreciate your guys' time. Again, if you need anything, let me know in the chat. Use the Discord as a resource, and I appreciate your guys' time as always. And yes, sir. Bruce. James Bruce. You can call me James Bruce, doesn't matter. But yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, Brew. Get some South Africans in the chat as well. 100%. Appreciate your guys' time. And yeah, just take it one day at a time. Don't force anything. When I trade at my best, it's when I'm just focused, relaxed, and just waiting for good quality setups to present themselves. So have a good rest of the trading day. I'll be in the Discord chat the rest of it. And let's have a good one. Let's make some money. Cheers, guys. We'll see you then.